preparing to live stream. Okay, it's telling me on the screen. Hello, Facebook. Oh, I think we're live. It says we're live. Hello and good evening, everyone. I am just going to check that we are live. It's obviously sometimes a little bit delayed. But if you are watching, say hello.
Hello. Hi, guys.
Narasha is watching. Right, yes, we are. Wonderful. Okay, is it on mute? Yes, it's on mute. Fine. I can keep an eye on it if any questions come in. So hello and welcome anybody who's watching and anyone who is watching on replay. If you're watching on replay, do us a hashtag replay. Ask us any questions afterwards, because we're happy to reply to anything that doesn't come in live too. But hello, I am Debbie from Better Birth and Baby. And I am here with the lovely Narasha from Just Simply Change. And we, this evening, are the Womb Whisperers. Love it.
Yeah.
I love that name. Narasha came up with that name and I absolutely love it. And we are thinking about doing a bit of a mini series.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah. So Narasha, we're on my Better Birth and Baby Facebook page. So would you like to introduce yourself? Because I think a lot of my followers and my likers know quite a bit about me. So tell us all about you.
Oh, thank you so much. You know what? The first time we had a one-to-one, I felt the synergy between us, and I'm so glad that we had a chat and we came up with this. So I'm really happy to share this this platform for you, and together we'll be doing so much more with fertility and pregnancy and birthing, and it's one of the areas that I focus on. I actually am a hypnotherapist, like what it says, the integrative transformational therapist. And I use a combination of tools. I've been doing this for the last 15 years while I was a teacher. So I was an ex-teacher all the way from South Africa. And yeah, this is where the heart is now, but our family is still back home. So, and I do work a lot with mental, emotional, and physical illnesses, because we know that if you were not born with an illness, the illnesses come into your body because it's an emotional or mental, what's the word? Mental disharmony. Yes, disharmony in the background. So I work a lot with that, and I got into fertility after I started doing rapid transformational therapy. It's now about 4 years, and it's just been an amazing journey when it comes to fertility and pregnancy and birthing, and I just love it. And I know you too also. You talk so passionately about birthing, hypnobirthing, and things like that.
Yeah, I do love it. And similar to you in that I use a combination of tools as well. And, you know, the couples I work with will come away with what I often call a toolbox of different tools and techniques. And, you know, one of those things, or maybe even a couple of those things, are around hypnosis and using hypnosis as a tool, because it is really powerful, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It's such a powerful tool to use, and really it's one of the only things that I think that can be used to change, or really effectively change, our subconscious mind or our unconscious mind. You know, some people call it unconscious, some people call it subconscious. I've been used to calling it your subconscious mind, but you know, that part of your mind that's responsible for so much going on in that part of your mind compared to your conscious part of your mind. And it's quite difficult to change that bit of your mind, because your conscious mind is always keeping an eye out and is always kind of risk assessing everything and is kind of filtering everything through. And you know, when we use hypnosis, it means we can really kind of delve deeply into beliefs, into memories, into making change, and really transformational change.
Absolutely. And I think for me, I'm at the presently during COVID, I don't know what came over me. You know, some people bought hot tubs, others went and redid their gardens. I decided, let me go and study further. So I'm busy pursuing a PhD in integrative and natural medicine, because I think that found me. because while I was doing some research on a cancer, one of my clients that had cancer, he had this passion to live, and I needed to find another way of helping him heal. So I was like totally into, like, I always believe like there's an energy that we can connect with, and our body is like this electric field that we can use and tap into to heal the body and heal the mind. So I when I work with my clients, it's like the healing starts with me, and you might feel the same. And the beautiful part of hypnosis is that like about 15 years ago, I think I felt my rock bottom. And because in the past, I had a lot of emotional baggage, because moving from South Africa to the UK with no support, just 2 kids and my husband, beautiful husband and 2 kids. But my mom came, and when she left, and after a few years, I thought, you know what, are we going back home? Are we staying here? So, this, like, I think it was just a month that I felt really low. And I think now when I look back, it's hormones also. And nobody told me, 15 years ago that you might be going through some hormonal change. And that's when I started using hypnotherapy. I started like training and started changing, and I couldn't believe how quick the change is. Like, there's no need. I always tell my clients, and I have some clients that have been seeing psychologists and psychiatrists, and it helped them, but it was quite long therapy. Now with hypnosis, like 6 to 10 hours and you're done.
Yeah, I agree. It is, you're absolutely right. It's that speed, the quickness, where how that change can happen so quickly, can't it? I've been working with a client recently who has got some major anxiety around birthing and around the labor, and she's thinking about it loads during pregnancy, and every time she thinks about it, she's getting that fear is coming in. She's getting a lot of adrenaline flowing through her system, and is just, heart rate's going up, and all of that stuff is just not good for her baby either. It's not good for her. It's not good for her baby. No. And so she has been listening to some hypnosis I recorded for her, and wow, already she's come back to me. I got a message from her the other day and said, I've only listened to it a few times and already I'm feeling better. I mean,
definitely, because I think, we use less than 5% of our conscious mind. So everything else is done behind the scenes. So, most of the day we are in survival mode. We are busy making ends meet. You have like, when you fall pregnant, it's not like you put your life on hold and you put yourself into a glass bottle and you wait for your 9 months. You're busy doing life. And together with busy life, your brain waves are just working like at beta level. And I always try to explain, people tell me, so what is hypnosis? And some people have like these myths about hypnosis and hypnotherapy. And literally it's slowing down your brain waves so you can focus on one thought at a time. And like, for example, in your normal day-to-day life, your brain waves are like high beta. If somebody that suffers with anxiety or depression, or you're quite stressed out, it's literally high beta. Now imagine you've got 50,000 to 70,000 thoughts running through your mind every day. And if you're stuck on a negative thought, your body is making cortisol and adrenaline that's flooding the body. And if you're pregnant, it's not good for your baby, because your baby is being fed with your emotions. Your baby is being fed with the hormones that you're creating. So therefore, finding your calm and being the calm in the storm is so imperative.
And I know that both of us work with a lot of clients who are, they do have very busy lives. They have pretty high-powered jobs. They're in managerial positions and leadership at work. And it just adds in that extra layer when you become pregnant. And I was talking to someone earlier today, actually, who where we were talking about IVF and that struggle to get pregnant as well. And it just adds in another layer Another layer of
Yeah.
anxiety, another layer of fear, another layer of just being worried about stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like over the last maybe 3 years, I can tell you different reasons. Like I work a lot with infertility when the body is just not falling pregnant.
Yeah.
And it's so, you know, as women, we don't realize that that part of our body, I call it the yoni, you know, and the yoni is one of these areas of the body. It's like such a sacred, beautiful place. It's a place of creation. It's a place of, you know, where magic happens. It's
It
a
should be
place
called Yoni Whispers.
yeah, in fact, our yonis take us to a place of orgasm. It takes us to a place of low.
Oh, and the beautiful oxytocin. Oh,
Yes, exactly. And you know, and it's one of those areas that are the most darkest place. It doesn't receive any light.
no.
So the light that it needs to get is from us. We have this,
Mm,
you know, these photonic light inside us. So we need to use that to heal.
yeah.
To heal our that chakra at the bottom, the root chakra. And
Mm,
another thing is that if you think about it, that part of the body bleeds every month. It sheds every month.
mhm.
It goes through different emotions every month. And also, when we are having sex or intercourse or making love with our partners, it also receives their stress. We receive, when, you
Yeah.
know, we receive their stress, their emotions, and
Mm,
it still is so resilient and so strong. So women and couples that are trying to fall pregnant, the only way to actually change the makeup of that beautiful space, that reproductive system, is to love it.
yeah.
And once we start loving it, you find that the body changes the chemicals. The healing takes place, you know, from endometriosis to PCOS to cysts. All of those things
Mm,
are linked to stress, and it's linked to where the body undergoes so much of fear, so many stresses, and that's why
mm.
it just cannot heal itself.
And
And
yeah, I was
and,
just going to say that there can be some traumas that have happened earlier on in people's lives as well, and that can greatly affect their fertility as well, can't it?
yeah,
And yeah,
I
lots of
had
things in the way.
a client that she was trying to fall pregnant for about 8 or 9 years after getting married, and her partner, you know, usually when the pregnancy is not happening, it's usually the woman's fault. So the woman is the one that first go and check what's right or what's wrong. So
Mm.
what I do is always tell my couples, you know, in a relationship, you're equal.
Yeah.
So nowadays, the body of both male and female can be affected. So
Mm.
they always go for tests together because it's good to actually do the test together so that you're not again highlighting what's wrong in a woman.
Yeah.
You know, so it's going for the test together. And so one of my clients, she was trying to fall pregnant for about 7 or 8 years, and when we went down to the root cause of why that pregnancy is just not happening, why the conception is not happening, and it went down, she went down to scenes linked to her dad. She lost her dad when she was young,
Oh,
about 17 or 18, and she couldn't envisage bringing a baby into this world, and her dad is not there to share it. And
oh.
we had to heal that 17-year-old girl.
Mm.
And when that happened, 3 months later, oh, there were other a few other scenes that popped up, but that was more or less the reason for her infertility. And as soon as she dealt with that, 3 months later she was pregnant, and
Wow.
she had
That's
her baby.
wonderful.
Yeah,
I
it's
think a
just
lot of people don't realize that, and people watching this won't realize this and won't know this either, that every memory you've ever had is still in here. Everything you've ever
absolutely.
experienced, and every memory has like an emotion attached to it as well. So it's really important if you have that a memory where you were scared, you were anxious, you were, something not nice happened, then it's going to be in there in your unconscious or subconscious mind with that emotion attached to it until you find some help to change that.
Yeah, and you just need a trigger for those emotions to flood back. And our environment and how we perceive the world also affects the way our body works. And if we look at the world and we're quite negative about everything, and we're the glass half empty kind of people, then that affects the body too. And if you are, I have some couples that come to me and say, we want to have a baby, and we want to have, we're trying for so many years, and it's not just happening. I've been for fertility checkups, and the doctor says everything is okay, but it's still not happening. And then when I look at their lifestyle, they are finishing work at 7 and 8 o'clock at night. They are eating most often takeaways, and they just don't have time for each other. They actually diarize when to actually ovulation time is. So that's the time that they spend more time with each other.
Yeah.
So I stopped them and I said, if you bring a baby into your life right now, how would you cope?
Yeah.
And the universe will give you what you can cope with.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I told them, I said, until you start changing your lifestyle, and you must envisage that if you want to have a baby, you must imagine that baby is already in your life, and how are you going to take care of that baby if you still working till 8, 9 o'clock at night, if you don't have organization and you don't have this mindset of having kids.
I think that's a really good message.
And I always say, go back and rejuggle, tweak what you're doing. And, I miscarried when I was pregnant. We got married, and 4 months later, I was pregnant. But unfortunately, I miscarried. And I was 5 months pregnant. So you know what, giving birth to a baby, having milk in your breast the next day, there's only so much as a woman we can go through, and the emotions, that heartache and heartbreak that you feel. And that grieving went on for quite some time, and I could understand. I didn't realize my husband was going through it too. But because I was drowning in that feeling of grief and heartache, that I forgot to check in with him. But it's weird that as soon as I dealt with that, and I don't think I fully dealt with it, but I was able to shelve it, that my body had a chance to recuperate. And then I fell pregnant again. And thank God I have 2 beautiful kids now. They are young adults. But when I know exactly what people feel when they can't fall pregnant. And, the beautiful part of conception is not just having that baby in you growing, but even it's like I find like having a baby a very spiritual process. Even the lovemaking that comes before that. And you must be seeing that beautiful pregnancy, throughout that 9 months, you coaching your clients throughout that 9 months. And it's just such a beautiful, wonderful feeling. And I don't know about you, but I love what we do, and to create life and bring life on this earth, and to help couples start families. It's very humbling.
It is. And what always surprises me is how different everyone I work with is, because sometimes I will have couples, with me, and, they're very determined, they know exactly what they need to do. They're very communicative with each other. But then others I have, and they sit there in front of me, and I know they have a lot of work to do. They have a lot of communication. They've got to set aside a lot of time, that they start talking about some of the things they're worried about. And I kind of reassure them that it's all doable. You can get rid of all of these anxieties, these stresses, these fears that you have, just by doing a few tweaks, almost just a few changes to your lifestyle, a few changes to things that you know, and practicing a few things. Changing habits is massive when you're pregnant, especially, and starting early on in getting things like some deep relaxation and meditation into your daily habits. Just spending some time just switching off that active part of your mind, focusing on one thing, like you said before, just focusing on a single thing, whether that's listening to something, reading a book even, or just closing your eyes and focusing inwardly on your baby. You don't even need to be listening to kind of hypnosis or anything like that. It's actually really, really good for you, whether you're pregnant or not. Actually, whether you're trying to conceive or not, it's good for you just to take that time out. And I have couples in front of me sometimes where I think, yeah, you've got it, and I know you're going to implement it, and then others who have got a bit of work to do. And I it's a delicate kind of operation. Just kind of saying to them, you need to do this to make a real difference and to really transform how you're feeling and how your birth is going to go and how you're going to cope with parenthood and looking after and bringing up this baby. You have to make some changes. And sometimes, in fact, most of the time, the penny drops at some point. There's a light bulb moment, or, and they'll, come to the next session and go, yeah, we've got it. And I can see as well the change in the two of them, because they've had those conversations. Yeah. And they've spent that time just doing some relaxation.
They're making time for themselves by sitting down and having a chat. I do a lot of work based around Dr. Bruce Lipton, and he talks in his Biology of Belief. It's a beautiful book, and he speaks about how a child when the fetus is growing inside of you, the fetus starts to grow, and as it's growing to a baby, that baby starts to preempt what the environment is going to be. So it prepares itself for that environment outside the body. And how do they do it? The mom doesn't just feed nutrition to the baby through the placenta. She feeds the emotions. She feeds her feelings. And outside noises. Like I had a 22-year-old girl that she always felt responsible for when her parents used to fight, and she used to suffer with anxiety. And when I put her under hypnosis, she went to inside the womb of her mom, and she could hear her parents fighting. And so she preempted that she is the reason why her parents fight. And it's so weird that she gave me, I can't actually talk about it, but she gave me a reason. I told her, I wanted you to have supersonic hearing. What is your parents fighting about? And when I was talking to the parents, I went behind, I actually asked the parents, did you guys ever fight while you were pregnant and things like that? What examples? And she gave me the same example as that baby, has my client, and she's never spoken to her mom about this ever, because you don't talk about things like that. So for all our pregnant women, for all our pregnant couples, it's not just the woman that's pregnant. For all our pregnant couples, your baby starts, it's called epigenetics, where your environment affects you, and you preempt. And sometimes babies are born, babies that go through quite a lot of trauma inside the mom are born with smaller brains, and therefore they have a later start in life. So because they have smaller brains, when they are in school, they end up with learning difficulties. They end up being called, ADHD, autistic, or this or that. The labels just start to come, and it all starts inside the womb. So it's something for women and couples to understand that pregnancy is one part of the birthing process. In fact, parenting starts right even before you conceive. Parenting actually starts before we conceive, and it's a process that we go through, and it's just a beautiful process.
And you know what I love? You know what I was picking up on some of the things you're talking about, the epigenetics and what have you. What I love about what we do is that it's science. This is all science. Yeah, this is about our bodies and our brains, and you know how that works together, the hormones, the and it kind of dips into so many different bits of science as well, doesn't
Oh
it? I
yeah,
mean,
definitely.
yeah,
Everything
the
is science.
nutrition, the brain stuff, the the even the physical, I mean, for example, most of my clients love yoga, and well, we all love yoga. Hey, I mean, who doesn't love yoga? Anyone who doesn't love yoga, what
You
is
know,
wrong with you? No.
the breath healing, the
Each their own.
yoga, the stilling of the calming of the mind, the slowing down of the brain waves. And when you do use hypnosis, your brain waves come right down to, from high beta to beta, alpha,
Yeah.
theta, and right down to delta. Now imagine at that time, your brain waves are so slow. And
Yeah.
when you understand things under hypnosis, it's just phenomenal. You can put things, you can deal with things so much more quicker. It's like, it's like supersonic, super fast. And I think that's what's the beautiful part of using alternate natural ways of healing. And I know you share the same thoughts about drug-free birthing. And that's such a beautiful thing, learning the tools of, what happens inside your cervix when you are stressed and you want to push a baby out that's the size of a watermelon.
It
And then
doesn't work. It doesn't work when you're stressed. It just like, well, it's a muscle. It's a muscle. So when you're stressed, the adrenaline flows. So it means that all the oxygenated blood goes to the wrong bits of your body, but also it's the fight or flight hormone. So you get ready to fight or flight. So all of your muscles just tense up, and so does your cervix, because your cervix is a muscle, and your cervix is supposed to be, when you're in labor, opening and thinning and stretching as much as it needs to, because it's perfectly designed for any size baby to come out of that area. All those muscles, all the tissue, everything will move and stretch as much as it needs to. But if adrenaline's going through your system, if that cortisol is going through your system, and if you're tense, and if your muscles are like, oh no, I'm really scared about this, then that's when many women tear, for example, and where interventions are required, where instruments are required to help to get baby out. And so if anyone watching this takes anything away from this, is as your baby is coming out, relax everything.
absolutely.
Absolutely everything. A really good tip is relaxing your mouth and jaw relaxes everything down there as well. So remembering to go,
Absolutely. And you know
yeah,
what? Hypnotherapy is, again, such a key thing in going down to the root cause. And
yeah,
also, like, I have this one program for infertility. If anybody knows of people struggling to fall pregnant, or they're going for IVF, and IVF, when you go, the doctor will say the first time it's just a small chance of falling pregnant. So what the
tiny.
point of having the first time then, because you're setting up your patients for failure.
Yeah,
um, and you the person's, you're the couple who's going to say, okay, it's not going to work first time because that's what the doctor said. And but you're spending that 10,000-12,000 pounds
a lot of
in
money.
going through the process. So we do this thing called seed cycling. We do yoni steaming and all of that to prepare that birth, to prepare the yoni to receive that egg, and for that attachment, for
Yeah,
that egg to attach like Velcro to the lining of
yeah.
the womb. And
Mm.
and if you've got endometriosis and PCOS, there's even things that you can do to actually help relieve that.
Yeah,
So do not ever think that, if you think that you'll never fall pregnant, that's exactly what will happen.
yeah, absolutely.
If you change your mind and you say, you know what, my body And, you know, scientists have said that the way we regenerate our cells, like every 7 years, it seems as if we got a new body. But then why do people still suffer with mental, emotional, and physical issues? It's because the mind is not regenerating.
No.
It's the mind that's supposed to regenerate. Don't wait for 7 years for regeneration. Let it be every day. You know, let it regenerate. So I have this one program. It's called the Create Fertility Program. So the Create is actually, we do a couples audit if they're trying to fall pregnant.
Yeah.
We rewire the mind, we explore nutrition, we activate the body, we turn on the passion. Yes, there's actually ways to stimulate a higher sperm count. There's actually ways to get your eggs to become healthier. There's actually ways so that the sperms, the lazy sperms, can actually swim in the right direction. So all of that. And we also do an energy balance, because if your energy is not resonating at the right frequency, you know, whether you have passion, sex, or whatever, if the energy is not resonating at the right frequency, it will be very hard for your body to work to its optimum.
A lot of people think, oh, I just need to have sex more. There's so many layers to this, isn't there? There's so many things to look at, and each one is as important as the next, really. And it may be that for you it's a couple of those things. It's maybe, you know, eating differently, it may be some mind work, you know, and for the next person it could be, you know, another bit of that jigsaw that's the key bit of the jigsaw for them. It's fascinating, isn't it?
I even tell some of my parents that not parents, the couples that want to fall pregnant, go and buy some baby clothing, go buy some toys, you know, buy baby powder, sprinkle it on your pillows, and just immerse yourself with that beautiful baby feelings. Because if you do that, then it's stimulating the right chemicals. It's stimulating oxytocin. You know, when you give birth and the first time you hold your baby in your arm, that's the most beautiful oxytocins that your body
get the biggest rush of oxytocin ever. It's wonderful.
By just thinking about it, I feel that beautiful. And also essential oils, you know, essential oils for various things, as it helps to just stimulate certain parts of your brain, you know, to calm down. And it's such a beautiful journey. I love it.
I find when I talk to couples about aromatherapy and about essential oils, and that, you know, the really good thing about smelling something that you love the smell of is that, you know, often I'll rub it in my hands, make a bit of warmth, and get that lovely aroma coming through a bit of warmth. And then you take a wonderfully long, slow, deep breath, don't you? And that is a fantastic kind of reset, and it reminds you to breathe really slowly and deeply as well. It's a really nice kind of, I'd say another tool for your toolbox during labor is just smelling something that you love, and it doesn't necessarily need to be an essential oil. I mean, there's some beautiful oils out there, but you know, it can just be something that's going to boost those oxytocin levels, but is also going to make you take a slow or a couple of really long, slow, deep breaths. It's lovely.
And you just, you know, the good thing is about what I love about what we do, especially when you work with your pregnant ladies, you are helping them anchor such amazing tools so that as they come closer to childbirth, they've already got like a whole lot of anchoring techniques. And by them, when you tell them every time you have a contraction, you do this, this, and this, and you already have anchored all of those feelings and emotions, and it's such a beautiful journey. I think at the next, when we meet again,
our next whisper.
our next whisper, when we start whispering again, I think we're going to share some real tools that you could use to kickstart, whether you are while you're pregnant, Debbie would do a lot of that, whether you are towards the end of pregnancy or whether you are struggling to conceive, because there are things that you can start doing to kickstart that in various aspects of the various aspects of starting a family and having a family.
Yeah,
I think that's why I clicked with you, because we have this synergy where we share that passion in helping people to bring their beautiful babies into the world, and I think that is absolutely special, because hey, there are, unfortunately there are problems that needs to be sorted out, and I'm grateful that we can help in that way.
And everyone who is watching this, if you're pregnant or trying to get pregnant, then you can make a difference. There are so many things that you can do and learn and practice to really help you have a really lovely, positive experience for your pregnancy, your birth, and beyond. And you're right, let's share some tools that will help you, even if you're not trying to get pregnant or not pregnant, or because anyone can use a lot of the tools that we teach, really, and the tools for life, some of them.
Absolutely. And remember that a woman, when it's time to fall pregnant, your time doesn't start at that point of conceiving. It starts from the age of 12. It's when you start to fall, when you start to get your periods. I've had a client that she couldn't fall pregnant because every time she had her periods, it was so painful. And she'll tell her mom, I wish I was a boy. I wish I never could have my periods. And what happened? By the time she turned 18 or 19, her periods stopped. Her body wasn't working the way it's supposed to. And that is why she struggled with fertility. So, moms, if you're listening to this, if you have young girls that have just started their periods, or teenagers that are suffering with premenstrual, dysphoria, all of those things, there's ways of actually helping them so that they can prepare their bodies from a teenager, so that when they're ready to fall pregnant in 10 years time or 15 years time, their womb will be that space for it will be a safe space for that baby for a healthy pregnancy, and for that baby to grow.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. Thank you for everybody that has looking at my phone, because I'm looking at our live and saying, if you have any questions, guys, please put them down. If you have any personal questions, PM either of us, and we'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions.
Absolutely. I can't see any questions live at the moment, but if anybody has any questions, let us know.
And if you found this useful, and if you want more information about anything, just pop us a PM and we would fit that in our next session.
Yes, and I will put your website details and your contact details in the comments bit for the live as well. So if anybody's watching and wants your details, I'll put them in there as well.
Thank you so much, and I thoroughly enjoyed this. And next time,
yes, we're doing this again in a couple of weeks' time. So come and join us again for some more womb whispers.
yes, and definitely. And tell you lots of love, and remember, health is wealth. And
love that.
if you start putting the effort in now, you would see you'd add longevity to your life. And remember that skill set is one thing, but mindset is everything. So
mindset is everything. I love that.
Mindset is everything.
I'm going to use that
anytime. And Debbie, it's been a pleasure, sis, talking about things that we're passionate about. And lots of love to you, and have a good week.
Lots of love to you as well. Have a wonderful week. And thank you for anybody who's watching and anyone watching on replay. We shall see you soon.
Yeah, take care. Lots of love.
Bye.